Can you bring that standalone mic that's going to come over here to your stage? Yaka, were you going to dim the light? Is it only filled? There's no dim. Okay. If you turn off the light and turn on that spotlight, how dark is it? You want to test it? What we can do, we can switch off this light area here. Okay. Standalone mic. Yeah. Yes.
Is there a teacher that's actually coming, or are we all on our own?
No, there are two teachers that are coming.
Okay.
Hey, Chris, did you manage to print out the notes?
Yeah. You're there.
Right.
But you don't have any video to go with it.
No video, just picture.
Well, do you have a,
didn't send you that video?
but I mean, do you have any PowerPoint?
Yeah, I sent it to you.
Apohan. Yeah, where's your friend also had something? Did he get his paper?
I don't think so.
Yeah, we're looking for a printed out. Okay.
So there's two viewers in the.
All right, guess what? All right. Huh?
There's two viewers right there.
Cool. Listen. Have you guys seen a clipper?
You ready to do what you do best? Yep. Huh? Yep.
I went to go get a foot. I'm not gonna have chicken out of the Coke or soda.
Are you the students who are going to be with us? Okay.
There's like some criteria here to help us out.
Oh, good God, I hope so.
I know. I'm so nervous about this.
What is this?
I think it's someone.
This? Oh, a speech?
Yeah.
He said there were rubrics. Okay. Who else is up here? So is it just the three of us?
Huh?
Is it just the three of us?
Yeah.
Whew. Well, I'm honored. I'm gonna go get the water. Whoa. Super high, huh?
If you want, you have to chair. There's just like some chairs.
Yeah.
Maybe we're just tall.
You can't be that much taller than me.
You want like
No, it's got to be the same chair.
yeah, I think it's the same chair.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Well, you've got heels on. Maybe we are. Maybe I'm shrinking.
So how's it been coming back?
Oh my
Did
God.
you see the old ice cream box from the old magazine?
Does it?
Yeah.
Is it nice?
Yeah, it's really nice. But I don't think it's a class. Yeah, it's not a class.
Really?
Yeah, that's what this is about. But we do do stuff on it, like design. And I see the little kids come along.
Do they really? So what have your interests grown into?
Well, I still love music. Yeah, not just you thought that the orchestra.
Oh, they were brilliant.
And we got like even bigger. Like a lot of kids came this year. That like added to it.
What caused it to get better? I mean, why did they? I mean, it's mind blowing.
I think before like, because now I'm into the cello and I'm doing violin. I think we were a lot of people having
It was.
a lot of us weren't experienced at all. And then this teacher was Macy and she literally changed everything. I've been with this place for 2 years and I've improved so much. And everyone and her daughter,
Did she's hired by school?
Miss Macy, no, she's the president. But everyone in the school knows her. And so her daughter, Abigail, she left for school, but she's still in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
And she's an amazing player. Like you can actually, she plays the level of like, getting someone
I was so impressed. So everybody at my school was just like, whoa.
what did you guys see?
Yeah, yeah.
You guys came with a good mix because before, you know Miss River, right? You know Miss River.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So she was giving us to do that segment, and she was giving us a full speech about how it doesn't matter what grade we're gonna get, but as long as we play like like that and stuff. And like AISM, like they were sitting there, and they was like they wanted to hear us like that whole speech, and they left. Like we didn't even get to hear us play properly. So you guys played having a good time.
It was outstanding. And when I was trying to convince one of my colleagues that was good.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not like a chore. I love it. It is one of the highlights of my life. On Thursdays, I go practice. Because, like, Used to be a so I never really like that much. It's like something that you gotta have like a lot of dedication to, but it's really worth it. But
I'm
like,
really happy.
and but like that's like for everyone. Like I'm sure for you, it's like technology and all that stuff. And I heard you play the Bitcoin. Yeah. So I guess it's for everyone.
Are you? You like so you're committed to that one?
But you also think it's free. And I got my friends to give me a word for
So you play soccer a lot? So how did you get started on that? What do you cook them? So what kind of stuff and how did you get started? And that's not only great because you enjoy it, but it's self-preservation. You know, both my sons, they're 36 and 32, and both of them love this stuff. It's like, their wives really like that.
yeah, you know, that's my goal with that. Married man knows how to cook. But I also love cooking. Baking. I love baking, but unfortunately, my outcomes are not always the best. You've got to have that certain talent, and I'm afraid I don't have it. But it's okay. I'm okay with like half taste. That's what I'm doing.
It's funny because being a mom and I cooked all the time, but now I just eat raw food. You know, like if there's a cucumber, I'll just eat the cucumber. I don't. It never makes it into a dish.
It's all going to end up in here anyway.
Yeah. And by doing that, I started to really love the flavor of pure food, like a red pepper.
Probably a lot healthier.
Oh, I love it. You know?
Yeah. Oh, I know. At the beginning, I thought I don't know why. She's really, well, now I know why. She's really into like healthy food. She doesn't really like chocolate or anything like that. And so she would always just do like red peppers like that. It's so good. And was like, okay. But then, you know, I started eating as well. And, you know, I went on a picnic with my friends the other day because I was like, you know what, I want to just, because, you know, when I was in college, I used to go on a lot of picnics. I was like, I want to, like, have flashes in the past. And so we went on a picnic and we just, like, cut up some vegetables and stuff and just ate them. And it's like, it's really good.
Yeah, for sure. You can.
I tried to experience for a while.
And then when it turns sleep, you bring them in and you wash them. And you there is nothing more delicious. Yeah, but they're so tasty. And then you eat a carrot from the store. You're getting the red soil. That's neat. The preparation of the grain and sano was really like fufu and everything. Yeah, for a couple years, way up in the end. So are you going about? Are you looking at all the streets?
No.
Oh, okay. So you don't have
Yeah.
And I don't know who put these on here because Mr. Gordon put everything up here for us.
Oh no, but I saw this. The first person who's going, I think he came looking for it before, and he stepped into here like saying, "What is this?" And it was just like, "Has anyone seen a paper?" And it's like,
Yeah. No? Here. Oh, this has delivery.
I saw that as well. I was moving.
I was too, but my friend says it's very edible.
Yeah, this is what you see on the cupcake.
Oh, really?
I think everyone hates when I with them because I eat so slowly, and people are just like, "Can you finish that already?"
Why?
I don't know. I like the first thing is like, especially when I'm having conversations with somebody else, I kind of like get
You
carried
put
away.
your heart into your conversation.
Yeah. And then also I've heard it's like healthier
Yes.
for like, because I know, especially now that I've started eating slower, like it wasn't on purpose or anything, but it just kind of happened. And if I do, like sometimes I'm rushing to school or I'm trying to do something, it doesn't give you like a good feeling. So, yeah.
Also called self-survival.
How's it?
Opinions, you know how you have like the whole show of people? When I was here, I could see the show. But it was like the whole country was showing them that are inside, right? And then there's Canada. There's so many different it's a very, very different feel to it than a whole country that's united by heritage. You know what I'm saying? And then also, like Nairobi is so big. It's huge. And I just like, wow. So luckily, I mean, and their traffic is hideous. I mean, I know that when you go through Ferraris in downtown, it was a little traffic, but certainly, well, and this is like they don't have the lanes marked. So if there's space, so the number of cars across just depends on what everybody considers space. You know, to the point where I go home, I go back to California. You know, the nicest thing here is that everybody's in a lane. I don't care how they're driving, but you know, they're all in a lane.
The thing about Zimbabwe is, one thing it's bad at is teaching you patience, because you know you never have to. Well, it depends,
You're right.
actually.
You're right. Hi.
Can I join this table?
Yeah, we're just it's a judging table.
Oh, maybe a bit.
Oh,
It doesn't matter.
I don't know. You know.
I'll walk away.
So he's sitting. One of the kids is sitting there.
Does that work?
And then,
My chair I had got taken, so I'm
and
scrambling.
how about the school? I heard it's much bigger than ISSEA.
It's about twice the size of kids, and then also the building that they're doing is just whoa.
Yeah, I heard like you have.
Do you ever come up?
No. But do you remember Eleanor?
Oh, she visits.
Yeah, she's in.
She visits me all the time.
Yeah, so you know
Hi.
she's in Kenya now, and you know Ruby, obviously.
Yes.
Ruby's got her friend Isabel, like her best friend from Kenya, and Eleanor, and they don't even know each other, and they're the same grade. Yeah, and it's like, and a lot of people, especially if they're not in this grade, they don't know who they even are. They haven't even heard of the person.
I think in the middle school we were really conscious of making sure that all the kids knew each other. Because you know what happens is we have like some classes that are grade 6, 7, 8, let's just say. So those mixed classes. Um, I found that for a couple of weeks we have to do getting to know these guys, and they've invented brilliant things. But I was just trying to say, how do you hope to work with a team?
Yeah. I love HIS. We went to school in Israel for half a year, and
When
last year, the beginning of
really?
no, the end of 2013, we went for half a year to live there, and I love that school so much. I made like friends there, but I do love HIS more. But the only thing that I find hard in HIS is like the grades don't interact with each other. I mean, I know Ruby really well because she's in my 16th grade, and me and her are friends, and a lot of people in my 16th grade because and then we become friends, and also all the music people, we all know each other.
Yeah.
That's also one of the things I like about music. But there's one senior probably that would talk to me when I walk by them and say hi and smile. And when I was in Israel, literally everyone knew everyone. Everyone knew each other's names. Like, you were new in the school, and immediately people would like come say hi. They'd be so friendly. And people who are friendly as well, but you gotta warm up to them. They gotta warm up to you. Whereas there it was. I would talk to them all the time, and they would even be like, "Oh, you're a different person than me. Could be an American." You know what I mean? So I found that really interesting, and I did really enjoy that. And it is like getting a bit better at it, especially if new people are coming and like the way they're treating. But I still feel that kind of like that division.
Do you? Yeah. And do you think the division is getting more or less as school's shrinking?
It is a little bit. I actually feel like it's getting less. Probably also because it's shrinking. Less people. There's less people that take people to school, and less people in your grade. You want to talk to other people and get to know them. And so, like, that one girl that's a singer. Her name is Sharon, and she's a music teacher, so I know her so well. And because of that, like now, seniors are starting to warm up to me. And like it's kind of like a chain reaction.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I'm really trying to make it this way. But it's really nice when you've got different friends, because then instead of anything else, it's like nice to get to know different types of people, different like personalities.
Yeah. Well, that's neat. It's beautiful to watch you grow up. Like it's a special treat.
I was in this youngest one a long time ago.
Yeah, you were a long time ago.
Yeah. And I remember the other day, so she coached me last week in basketball, and I remember her saying, "I feel so old. I watched you grow up from a little kindergartner to
Yeah,
young lady." Yeah. And I was just like, "Oh, don't worry, Miss Young, you're not old." Yeah, it's funny because the time has gone by really quickly.
it does. It goes by so quickly.
And another thing that I found, me and my older sister are like really friends. I remember when I was in grade 6 and they were in grade 8, it's like they would talk to me. They'd be like, "Oh, she's not cool. She's not cool."
Isn't that horrible? Middle school years are just. I mean, if you live through them, you deserve something.
But now, me and my sister, like sometimes I'll sit with my friends at a table, and my sisters would literally just come sit next to us, and because my friends are their friends, and their friends are my friends.
Yeah.
It's like we're all one big group of friends.
That's nice.
Yeah. That makes
I wonder if some of that comes with maturity, or that doesn't always happen. Sometimes kids separate.
I think it depends. Like, I never would have thought that my business would have been this close.
Yeah.
But you know, as the age that gets smaller,
Yeah.
so I think that's got something to do with it.
And I guess if you're open, to what you're open to your. Hey.
Hey, we're gonna get this thing started.
This is looking polite now. I'm worried about this person that left all of this here. Oh, we know who it is.
For your judges.
Sorry?
Can I take those away for you?
That would be lovely. Thank you. Ever so much. Oh, so kind of you. Thank you.
Hello. All right.
You have to be pretty brave. Although I understand HIS does a lot of public speaking.
Oh, I'm really nervous about this.
Yeah?
But no, but to protect our people, I think, yeah, a lot of the HS people are really confident for this.
Yeah. I know mine is I'm just so proud of them.
يعني أما الفرق اللي بما بخبر كمان
how do you know she has neither back pocket?
كمان دي اللي بخلالها ما كسر شو ما شيء لا
What does it say?
Are you trying to?
They Nike for the kids. Yeah.
I'm just gonna hold off on this.
I think I will too. I wouldn't put it on yet. What's your last name?
Nothing's done, just like. I think we're giving constructive criticism in front of everyone.
I think we're giving them encouragement.
Yeah.
Is that what your idea is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what your idea is? What you said that you really liked about it?
Yeah. Mr. B told us that, you did really well, you know, it followed the theme, and you were really good with engaging with the audience. You could have been a little bit more prepared. But I think I'm going to stick to the nice comments. I don't really like criticizing people, especially in front of a lot of people.
This takes such courage.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to judge you when I know I couldn't get up there ever and do this.
All right, guys, let's get our TED Talk evening started. Just to let you know, right now we have Agar from HIS about to do her TED Talk. I just wanted to throw out a couple of essential agreements. The reason why we're doing this, and the reason why we changed it from it being a competition is because we want to encourage people to spread their ideas. We want to encourage people to feel comfortable to come up here and share their ideas. All of you have valuable ideas. All of you have ideas that can change the world. But they won't change the world if you don't share it. So we really encourage you to come up here. So that being said, we all need to understand and make sure that we agree to be the best and most respectful audience that we can to these people who have put themselves out there to share their ideas. We do have a panel of judges who will be pointing out some of the strengths and things that they really liked about the presentation after each TED Talker. The order that we're, oh, you guys, can we get out of that for 1 second so I can just share the order? After this, after Hagar, we will go with Siddharth.
No, please.
After Siddharth, we will go with David Harvey. After David Harvey, Ivan. After Ivan, Jeff. After Jeff, Melissa and Sebastian. Then Nilu, and then ending with Salman. If there is anybody who has a presentation and I didn't get it, or Apohan didn't get it, then let us know, and we'll try to make some arrangements to get it up there and on the list. So with that said, let's turn our attention and our respect to Hagar. Hagar!
Yeah, I'll I don't think the microphone's working. Is it working?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a pretty scary thought in the first place.
All right, Hagar.
Hi, my name is Hagar Sivan, and I'm from the Harare International School. And today I'll be presenting about microchips inserted into humans. So this idea is basically a relatively new idea, and inside this idea, it means that soon humans are going to be microchips are going to be mandatory for humans, and they're going to be inserted under your skin, mostly in your arms, and they're going to be like an ID. So they'll have your name, your birthday, your family history, criminal history, taxes. So basically, if you get arrested, they can just scan your hand and know everything about you. So you wouldn't need to have a card ID because you have it all in your chip. But today, I'll like to focus my presentation on a more advanced type of chips, which are microchips inserted into human brains to extend their memory. So having microchips in your brain is pretty dangerous because they can maybe expand your memory. Like, let's say you want to learn a language, you can just insert, upload the language to your microdisc and you have it inserted. But then, let's say someone hacks your microchip, they can possibly control your thoughts. So let's say someone wants to take over the world. Yeah, it's a little bit of sci-fi, but just go with it. So let's say someone wants to take over the world. They can hire a really good hacker that can hack into your brain. And let's say you're living in a democratic country, they can force you to vote for them. So then you'll think, oh yeah, I need to vote for them because they're very, they'll help me and they'll drive my country to go better. But then they're actually going to control you. They're actually going to control your brain and make you vote for them. So this way, people can actually control the world with that. you might think it's impossible, but imagine it, if you have a chip in your brain that can insert memory and like extend your memory, why can't they take your memories? And if it's already in your brain, what stops it from getting inside your brain and inside your thinking process? So imagine you actually getting it in your brain. So imagine you actually get the microchip in your brain, and someone can extend your memories. What stopped them from taking some of the memories and going into your most private memories and just looking through them? Because if they can insert memories in your brain, they can probably take memories from your brain and convert them into files that they can read or they can watch or anything like that. So for conclusion, I would just like to encourage you all to not allow anyone to insert any chips in your brain. Whether it's in your hand or in your brain, it's dangerous, because even when it's in your arm, people can just hack into it and blame you and say that you owe like thousands of dollars to the government and that you're actually a murderer that's bound to prison, and you'll have no way to prove they're wrong, because that's what your microchip says. So don't let anyone insert chips in you. Thank you.
You want to go?
Talking about it,
Yeah, we're talking about it. Where's the microphone?
I don't know.
I'm sure they'll bring us one.
I think she did a really good job of not relying too much on
Yeah.
the slides behind her.
Sure. Go ahead.
So, guys, now we'll hear a couple of words from the judges as far as points and aspects that they felt were strong about Hagar's presentation.
We felt like you did a really good job not relying on the images at the back and the presentation. You just kind of like engaged the audience a lot, and you made it like funny, so that was all good. Good job.
Your evidence to support your final statement was very good. Talking about how you can get hacked and how people would say you owe money. So it was overall a very good presentation.
Well, I think I agree with you guys, since this is a very informal situation here. I really liked the way the background didn't distract me. The background really kind of engaged me, and it really made me think that, wow, she's thinking about something that maybe we always thought was science fiction, but maybe could be reality, because look, some of your pets probably have chips in them right now. I know that my brother's pet has a chip in it. So her idea of, would this extend to human beings? The fact that you can, I think she made a very good case. Could somebody take something out of my brain? So I really enjoyed it. It was really engaging.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Oh, they need it now?
Mr. Gordon?
Yeah.
Okay. I had to, I couldn't exactly memorize this really fast, so just bear with me. Hi, I'm Sid, and today I'm presenting to you about what would we have done without internet. Just generally, I got this kind of idea when I was with my friend, and there was no internet anywhere, and we were just lying around bored, and we started to totally wonder what would happen. We noticed it was literally, it would have become like a zombie apocalypse. Not exactly a zombie apocalypse, but just an apocalypse. The internet has become one of the things that everyone does at one point in every single day in their lives. I mean, nothing gets done without it nowadays. It seems the more we seem to use it, it seems less. It seems more impossible that we can't live without it. Did you know that every 2 months, approximately, the average person uses about 30 GB, 30 gigabytes, sorry, gigabytes of internet every single 2 months. it's just so surprising. I tried like this early, and it's perfectly true. I've been losing internet really bad in my house. Yeah, and we've been doing things like visiting websites, sending email, downloading torrents. How many of you like download torrents? Raise your hand. How many of you download? Yeah, yeah. That's kind of what I mean, yeah, we totally use that as like our advantage. However, can we like yeah. However, could we just like possibly be using this as just like a misconception? Could this just be like an advantage we're overseeing? Could this be anything like that? Because if it was, and randomly, just out of nowhere, all our internet stopped. Literally, stocks would drop. That the trade, communication, others, our entire society would have dropped completely, just like that. Bam. It would have gone off. Yeah, would have been impossible. However, would this have been impossible? No, it's totally impossible. This is not even possible to ever happen. Because if it were to have, I don't think it'd be ever to happen. Because someone all the way around the world would have to shut down every single DNS everywhere in the world, which is literally highly impossible. It's not even possible to happen. Because yeah, it wouldn't exist. So our businesses, it would be impossible. And what we would probably do if this were ever to happen was that we would probably go around rioting, suing, and pursuing this man until he brought back our internet. This was like, I was so surprised when I saw that. It was just like, wow, we would have done that. Yeah. Since I said our ecosystem, our society would have dropped, there still would be a little bit of a chance of like some shops or like trading systems still surviving, because they started many years ago, and they're both economically involved in the through the internet as well as through the community, which is very good both ways. But I mean, if it was ever to happen, we have to be like ready for this. So that's my conclusion. We have to be ready for like, if this was ever to happen, we have to like be totally ready. So yeah, thanks.
You did. Go ahead.
Sit up.
Can you talk a little bit louder?
Anyway, Siddharth chose. I feel like you chose a great topic. That was possibly one of the best topics we're going to hear tonight. You executed it well, and I feel that there was it was more like a casual conversation rather than something you were told to do, which was nice. I would, in the future, I would like some more information, but that was good. It was a very good presentation.
Overall, I really liked how you really related it to your own situation and how you said at the beginning. You know, me and my friend were like lying around doing nothing, and this idea came to me. And kind of throughout the presentation, I felt like you kind of kept going back to that idea. So, yeah.
And Sid, I really loved the way you engaged the audience, and I kind of noticed that you were talking to everybody, but we were kind of chuckling here because we had to wonder if you were a policeman there when you said raise your hand. If you had the audience was so engaged that when you said raise your hand if you use torrents, which we all know is illegal, right? How many of you raised your hands? and that proved to me that they trusted, the audience trusted you, and that you were engaging with them. Well done. No, we're not gonna.
Keep on. Ivan. Ivan, come on up.
Yeah.
I think what we should do is, while people are still silent down, maybe people discuss like public points, and maybe we should take turns.
Nice. I think that's what normally would be happening.
Yeah, but
Just with the spotlight on me. Looks like it go like that.
Okay, a show of hands here. Who has seen this TV show before? Sherlock on BBC with Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman. Let's need to watch this show. So I have this theory that everybody in their lifetime will have a Sherlock experience. Whether you find something that you lost for like a year, or you discover something that you think that nobody else has. And my Sherlock experience, I think I experienced it when I was 10, when I was hanging out with my friend during like the holidays. His family is very, very strict. You know those Asian families, all the Asians here, you understand how strict the families are. The families won't let him go on the computer for playing games, or like going on the iPhone or the iPad, or well, it used to be the phone, the smartphone that wasn't invented back then. So what will happen is every time I go, his parents will have to type in the password on the computer so we can play. And once I was just standing next to the mother when she typed in the password, and I glanced down and I saw the password, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that was my Sherlock moment, because I was like, I cracked the code. I'm a hacker now. I should just become an outlaw. So this brings me to my presentation about passwords and internet security and privacy. It's on the topic dependence on technology, and my question asking is, are we being too careless with our internet security? I have a list here of the most common passwords released by Slash Data, a data collection website in America. So how many of you guys have seen people use these kind of passwords or use them? Don't tell me you use them. Yeah. So you can see here, there's a lot of you can see a lot of numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's a lot of QWERTY, the first row of the keyboard. Password, that's your password. That's my favorite. And then you have towards the bottom, you have sports, football, baseball, and then the best one, Dragon. There's a lot of nerds out there playing D&D and like games. So on the timeline, this is a timeline from the beginning of 2014 to the beginning of 2015. There has been a lot of cases of hacking. In the beginning of 2014, there's been a retail hack, a Target hack, which is pretty ironic because their brand is called Target. And there was the Yahoo Mail got hacked in the beginning of the year. eBay, AT&T, the American telecom company, Heartbeat. Some of you guys might know the Heartbeat virus that was taking advantage of a Flash, I think, the Flash software. United States Community Health Service. Evernote. Some of you guys use Evernote to take notes, and that got hacked as well. Home Depot, Google, iCloud. You guys know iCloud. The iCloud hack, in November. Some of the guys probably saw the pictures, taken out of the hack. Don't lie. JP Morgan, Chase and Company, one of the biggest banks on Wall Street. Snapchat. So careful next time you send some pictures to your boyfriend, or just be careful next time. And one of the most famous ones, Sony, that was hacked because of the interview. Who's seen the interview here? Okay, the interview. Because of the interview, and North Korea apparently hacked Sony. So out of the more than 1,500 cases reported that year, more than 1 billion records were stolen or hacked, were released. Those include the names, social security numbers, telephone numbers, credit cards, and just a lot of personal information in general. So what does that mean? Well, I think that we don't have a good law and reinforcing system with the internet. We can't really find who hacked your computer unless you trace it back and you re-hack them, like a hack back. So there's not, and then you can't stop cyberbullying. That's everybody's gotten talks about cyberbullying. You can't really know whether you're talking on the the social websites about with a 6-year-old male in his mother's basement or a 16-year-old girl, trying to hook up with you. And that brings me to my point. It's anonymity. It's anonymous. It's anonymous. A really good thing. Should we? Because in Uganda, about 2 years back, we enforced name to SIM card system, so that when people text things, people know who sent those texts. So should we put that into the internet? Sure. I mean, internet is known for being the thing where you can hide behind your computer and do whatever you want, and it's open internet. And we just have the FCC approve of the open internet just a while back. But is that really a good thing? I mean, I don't have enough time to talk about it. I just want to leave you guys with this thought. It's a nominated, whatever, really a good thing. So, yeah, thanks.
I thought you did a really good job of using the space on the stage, and you felt really comfortable. And I saw that when you made a little mistake, you quickly brushed it off, you corrected yourself, it was no big deal, which I think is a really good skill to have. Yeah, it was overall a really, really good presentation.
I just think that you had great on-stage energy. There was just this really good feeling that I felt like the crowd and myself were getting from you. That's all I can say. It was just really good.
Such an important topic, and you handled it so well, especially with your slides that were leading us up to it. It was very clear what your theme was. It was very clear what your question was. And the question of anonymity is, and I think I said it, is really, really an important thing with this passwords and everything. So it was really, really something for everyone to think about. Thank you.
Next we have Jeff from ISK.
Okay, before I start, I just really want to say I have been really impressed by your presentation today, and I don't feel like my slides will be as good, but I'll really try to explain more. Okay, life is an amalgamation of events. As humans, we live in between and in those events. But the real question is, why are we here? What is our purpose in life? Why do we even exist? See, from the beginning of time, humans have used technology as simple as a spear, just to kill something like a woolly mammoth for dinner. Now, who here thinks that, I don't know, a shard of flint is technology? Yeah, you'd be right. It could be used to start fires, it could be used to kill something. Since the beginning of time, we have used technology. I'm here to defend the fact that technology is crucial in our lives. Now, since I was a young boy, I've been dreaming of inventing something great, something that can change the world. I used to think that I could make Pokemon a reality or destroy every weapon on Earth. But as I got older, I realized that I need to pick something more realistic. So I want to invent a machine that could intercept and feed back electrical impulses in the brain. That could then be used to cure something like paraplegia by adding cybernetic implantments. Yeah, I just picked this guy from DC because he's the only cyber I could think of. Fine. Now, I just want you to take a second and look to the person to your left. Now turn back and look to the person on your right. That person could invent something so amazing that could change our very existence. They could create something that stops deforestation or cures world hunger. See, we have infinite potential, and we use technology to get it. Technology advances our lives. It doesn't hinder it or harm it. To some extent, we need technology in our lives. See, the first person to invent video games started a chain reaction that went on through time and time again, from the first paddle pong game in the 70s all the way down to Wii and Xbox that we use today. We just keep advancing our lives. We just keep making it more entertaining. So finally, I'm here to say that we are the future of technology. We can choose whether we control it or it controls us. There's no such thing as a technological apocalypse because we have control of it. Thank you.
I thought your presentation was really, really strong, and you sold, like, you could see that you believed in what you were saying. Don't ever start a presentation with saying that you don't think it's going to be good, because that was a really good presentation, so, yeah.
I really like the fact that you somewhat were defendant for those who have parents who say, oh, all you do is sit on your iPhone all day and whatnot. It was a strong presentation, and I really enjoyed the way you linked things from the beginning to the end.
Jeff, I thought that as you started out, you didn't believe in yourself. And we watched you grow throughout it. So I think that ability to engage with your audience and feel like you were talking to them was really great. And then the fact that you said that technology is actually in our hands and we're going to have to use it to solve the problems, or as otherwise say, hey, is it just an apocalypse? And I think that was a really brave point of view and well presented. Thank you.
Sebastian and Melissa.
Hi, my name is Sebastian.
My name's Melissa.
We represent ISSEM, and today we'll be talking to you guys about genetic manipulation.
Yeah.
Have you ever dreamed about designing your very own baby?
Yes, mine would have black hair and blue eyes.
What if I told you it might soon be possible thanks to genetic engineering?
What? Did you say genetic engineering? I'd rather not.
Wait, let's rewind back to 1990, the year the first successful gene therapy was conducted. Just 4 years later, the flavor saver was invented, a genetically modified tomato that lasted longer and tasted better than any other average tomato.
Yeah, but wasn't the flavor saver considered too expensive? I'm pretty sure it isn't produced anymore.
True, but listen to this. In 1998, embryonic stem cells were isolated and used to grow heart, blood, and bone cells. Genetic engineering still has a long way to go.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but are you telling me that our future generation will be able to create their own baby?
That's right. There are many potential benefits to humans from this process, but the risks have not yet been adequately defined.
Would you do it?
Well, Melissa, this newfound knowledge in our genetics may also enable us to engineer our own genetic blueprint. Imagine, we'd be able to enhance our muscles, height, intelligence, to choose sex, hair color, and even simple personality traits of our children. Genetic engineering would rid the world of diseases such as cystic fibrosis and Down syndrome. With new technology, we'd be able to create
superhumans. We create superhumans. We will be the main creators of a civilization that uses genetic manipulation to enhance humans' physical and mental capabilities. Overall, this will make a new transition into another stage in human evolution.
You're not looking at it from my perspective. DARPA, the Defense Research Agency in the United States, is developing an exoskeleton that will allow soldiers to run faster and lift massive weights. This theory will eventually allow these super soldiers to astonishingly convert fat into energy more efficiently, so they are able to go days without eating or sleeping while in the war zone.
If our scientists aren't careful, they could end up creating monsters far beyond what anyone could ever imagine. And once Pandora's box is open and these superhumans start spreading their DNA around, it simply will not be possible to put the genie back into the bottle. Considering that we humans have demonstrated a very limited ability to reconcile differences in sexuality, race, and gender, it's safe to say that this technology may very well lead to the most complicated social issues in the history of humanity.
Not really. We will ultimately create a new age of happier, smarter, and healthier human beings.
Happier? We'll be altering a baby's genetic traits and manipulating our own nature. In this view, undermining our own humanity. What will happen to our generation?
There is no doubt genetic modification will be possible in the next decade. We are going to have to face this cautiously. It is our job to ask ourselves, where do we draw the line?
You guys really worked well together with each other, and I really liked how you guys had the different points of view. You know, you were kind of like showing what everyone thinks, kind of, and saying whether it's bad, good, and you made good use of the stage, and you had a really good presentation. It was, yeah, and you were well prepared as well. So.
Yeah, just like my fellow judges just said, you guys had very good on-stage chemistry. It was well rehearsed and incredibly well timed.
Well, I felt I was inside your heads, just kind of listening to all this and what everybody's thinking and how you interacted with each other. I loved the presentation up here. It was in the background, and yet it became really part of your message. And you ignored it, so we paid more attention to it. And the way you interacted with each other was phenomenal. So thank you for bringing up the really big subject, because it's your generation to figure out how you're going to handle it. Well done.
Nilu? Nilu, can you come on up? Come on up, please.
That was amazing.
So engaging. I literally I didn't think about anything else. No, awesome.
That was great.
Nilu, everybody.
So this, unlike the previous ones, is, well, the previous ones were like mainly problems that we would have in the future. This is a problem that we have today, and what we will continue to have in the decades to come. So hacking. Hacking is basically the act of seeking and exploiting a weakness in a computer or a program. So, as most of you may think, hacking is not just typing code into a terminal. It is like it's changing the program meant for a computer for your own personal gain. So there are three main types of hacking. There's black hat, gray hat, and white hat hacking. Black hat hacking is that's what most people consider real hacking. It's illegal activity, and for various purposes. It doesn't have to be for your own gain, and yeah, usually for personal gain. White hat hacking is ethical hacking, which may sound ironic, but it is penetration testing for your own computer or program, meaning that
Well, meaning that you have to test your program if it can be hacked by a black hat hacker. So you're basically hacking your own program. Oh, and okay, gray hat hacking is with a mixture of black hat and gray hat hacking, obviously. And so a gray hat hacker hacks into a system and then notifies the system administrator and offers to fix it for a fee, or just leaves it hackable. Malware. Malware is like a computer program that is used by a user to gain information or control over another computer without the user's the computer user's permission. So malware is commonly confused with the word viruses. Viruses are not, well, all types of malware are not the same thing as viruses. There are 4 different types of malware: viruses, trojans, worms, and rootkits. So viruses are basically programs that replicate themselves like a human virus, like a disease virus that replicates itself in your body. It basically it puts itself in a program and it replicates without anyone knowing. And then when it's time for it to strike, or basically strike. Trojans. A Trojan is named after a Trojan horse, which most of you may know. A Trojan is like, it's hidden in a seemingly normal program, and well, it's just malware. Worms. Worm tunnels through software and finds backdoors. So worm is usually used with other types of malware. What it does is it creates a backdoor inside a computer through another piece of software so that a different type of malware can get into it. Rootkits. Rootkits are started every time a computer starts, so it's usually completely undetectable because it starts before any antivirus can start, so your antivirus cannot detect it. So basically, today what I'm trying to tell you is, well, firstly, your antivirus cannot do everything. You have to start learning how to verify your computer for hacking, and just don't click on viruses. Thank you.
Your information was well explained, and it was obvious you knew what you were talking about. It's a good presentation.
Yeah, like Philip said, it's obvious that you knew what you were talking about. I learned a lot from that presentation. And you wrapped it up at the end quite well.
Well, it was kind of an interesting TED Talk, because what you did was gives out a lot of information that a lot of us are ignoring too, because you will have that ability in a way that, for your generation to figure out what you're going to do with your coding experiences. So it was a really kind of I enjoyed listening to the different kinds of things that you're current. Now, and I think that as this goes on, you're going to find more and more of the things that you could do, and maybe there would be a generation that could realize that wasting your time on that is not the best idea. Good job.
Sama.
He's 6th grade. The little one up there? No, the little one. Oh, you're saying he's so cute? Okay, you just think he's cute. Hmm? Oh, he was so nervous.
Just saying these comments, thank goodness you're here, because we're here looking like these comments, and then you make this like inspirational comments.
I don't feel that. It's okay. Yes. Walk proudly on the stage.
Sama.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'll be talking about the alternative. I should start with my name. My name's Salman Brand. I go to HIS. Anyway, the alternative. What do I mean by the alternative? I'm looking at an alternative fuel source. As you know, about 80% of the fuel we use, I mean, it's been changing over the years, but approximately 80% of the human consumption of electricity is fossil fuels. And as we see here, fossil fuels are going to disappear by 2088. But that's obviously a prediction, so we can't be certain, but 60 years, more or less, give or take. So if 80% of the people who rely on fossil fuels are going to lose their electricity, well then, what if nuclear war breaks out? You know those video games that predict the future? They say, I don't know, some superpower attacks another superpower. Coal or something. I'm getting off topic here. Anyway, what do we use for a clean, easily found fuel type? I'm not going to give you the answer. Although I did find something called helium-3. Now, this is for those of you who understand how atoms work. It's very basic stuff. This is your bog standard helium atom. And this is helium-3. But I'm sure you notice it's missing something. It's missing a neutron, which makes it an isotope. Okay? And this particular isotope is known as helium-3. So this may seem completely unrelated, but I'm going to talk to you about fission and fusion. But let's start with fission. You know, nuclear power has something to do with splitting something else. Yeah, splitting. Yeah, I'll explain to you how nuclear power works. All nuclear power stations split atoms. Then you get a chunk of uranium. You fire a neutron at it. It then becomes really unstable. It hits this nucleus, which then becomes really unstable. It produces, I believe, beryllium, and krypton, and creates more neutrons, which then hit more nuclei, which then splits, creating more heat. And from what I understand, it's water, which creates more steam, which powers our world with nuclear energy. Then there's fusion. That's fission. Just remember that. Then there's fusion. And this has never been used before, and I'll explain why. But from what I understand, as it's considerably, it's reasonably new, you fire two atoms at each other really fast, at an incredibly fast speed. This produces one atom, a neutron, or a proton, depending on which two atoms you fire at each other, and it creates this heat, which again gives us electricity. This is 3 to 4 times more efficient than splitting atoms with fission. Also, it's completely clean. Like, remember I mentioned this krypton and this other atom, I believe it was boron or beryllium, one of the two. Anyway, what I was saying is it produces radioactive waste. What do we do with radioactive waste? You don't know where to leave it. You don't know what to do with it. But why do I have a sun here? I'm talking about fusion. Ignoring fission. Fission is dirty and fusion is complicated. Why is fission complicated? That's simply because if you want to really push two atoms together at an incredibly fast speed, you need, well, not necessarily the sun, but fusion naturally occurs in the sun because it's incredibly, immensely hot and incredibly dense, giving us loads of pressure. What we need to achieve fusion is an immense amount of pressure and heat. That is why it would seem that fusion is almost impossible, because we need to essentially have the sun in a small nuclear power station, which is almost impossible, but I'm not saying that it is, because we just need some time to develop the technology. Now back to helium-3. I was talking about helium-3 earlier on, because helium-3 is much less costly and much easier, much more efficient. It's almost 5 times as efficient as using any other atom. But if we were to use helium-3, we would essentially have enough power to supply the entire Earth. But what's the problem? There's always a catch. This is supposed to be the Earth's magnetic field. Because the Earth has a spinning core within, it has this magnetic field which repels helium-3. Because the helium-3 is being repelled, we don't have it on Earth. So where do we get it? How do we know it exists? The moon. The moon does not have a magnetic field because the core isn't spinning. So what we were going to do is send a rocket up there, build a base, and mine the helium-3 from the moon. Of course, that would cost $12 billion at the least, so that's the problem, but it has been done. Well, I mean, obviously, it's been 60 years. Well, we haven't been to the moon since 1960, I believe, or something. And I just want to finish, I just want to say that if we ever do want to get helium-3, we do have to get to the moon. But the problem is, we'll never get to the moon because we'll never be able to fund another trip. And I just want to end on this quote saying, since the 60s, we have always been 20 years off going to the moon. That's just an internet quote. That's just something scientists have found. It'll always take us 20 years to get to the moon. Just simply because we're either behind or we don't have the funds or something. So I just want to thank you.
I thought you have a real talent for presenting. It was obvious that you didn't memorize what the information, but you knew it, and you were like explaining to it, and you could see that you had passion about it. And I think to wrap this up, this was a really good presentation. It was, yeah.
Yeah, we all enjoyed it back here, I'm pretty sure. I really enjoyed the way that you'd come about this. You had just a refreshing, something different to the table that I really liked. It was just you teaching us, and that was cool.
Your passion for looking at all the different kinds of solutions that may be there was a little bit in time travel. I wasn't quite sure where I was going at any one point in time. I think one of the things that struck me about yours is the fact, and I wonder if it struck anybody in this room, that he said that the fossil fuels will be gone in 60 years. Think about your age. It could be in your time. So it might be something to really think about as your generation moves on. Maybe what he's talking about is like something to really look up. I don't understand any of it right now, but I'd certainly like to look it up. All right, thanks very much for the information.
Hopefully we have Yasu coming next.
You're not aware of it?
Yes. Is he, am I saying it correct?
I think they got braver. They were 16 first. If you know what I said that to me, you wrapped up your presentation. So don't worry about it. Where are you getting the information?
I think it was the information was a little bit confusing.
Oh, I was mind-boggling, but I felt like I was time traveling.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like,
but it was,
you know what matter because it was just the way we had it.
Yeah, and it kind of made me want to really go into it to figure out, like, what is he talking about? You know, is there something like real?
And I think that was a really good way to do that. You know about more things. You gotta, you know.
Yeah.
I think.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yashu.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Yashu. More people interact today more than ever, isn't it? So that's what I'm going to talk about. If you just sit and think for a moment about how many people interact every day by using technology, you'll be just amazed. Because in 1970, 49% of people used to interact. But now in 2015, 91% of people interact.
He doesn't, yeah, the font isn't there.
Oh.
So, in my parents' age,
Go ahead.
okay, so in my parents' age, they didn't have that much of technology. They didn't have smartphones or computers. One common way for interacting for them was letter writing. They used to write letters to their friends on a paper with their hand and wait for days to get the reply back. The communication now has totally changed. Now there are smartphones in which people interact using Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, and many more apps. There's more television having more news channels, so you'll be in touch about what's happening around the world. Now, if I were in my parents' world, my world would be totally empty. I love my phone. I can communicate with my friends whenever I want. I can talk to them even if they're miles apart. For example, I used to live in Oman before, and after I moved to Zambia, I can still communicate with them. But remember, there's some disadvantages also. People spend hours on phone without doing anything else. Basically, it's addiction and it steals time. They don't do any other work like playing or studying, but they just text. Another major issue is some people text unknown people. How many of you guys text unknown people?
Yeah.
That's nice. Because some people just text unknown people because it's fun. They give their personal info by trusting them, even if they don't know who they are. So we have come to a conclusion that communication technology is double-edged sword. You need to put it to good use. When used properly, it not only makes us efficient, but also contributes to world universal happiness and peace. Thank you.
Very nice.
I think it was good how, like, in other presentations, maybe, I don't know, the font change at the background could have been distracting, but you really, like, you didn't pay much attention to that. You kept the focus on you, which is a really good skill to have, so I think.
Yeah, I liked how you made the best of that situation and you just continued to present. That was very professional. So I also liked the topic. That was a good topic and something that people can relate to today.
Yeah, it was really, I really enjoyed that. And I'm thinking that as you presented, not only did I feel old because I did write letters with my hand on paper, but you're looking at the things that you believe in your heart are things that you have to deal with in your generation. And I think it was really, really nice. Thank you.
We do have one more presentation, but we haven't received it yet. It's not in our grasp. It's going to be being emailed. What's the name of the? Okay. So at this, we're just going to take just a 2-minute break. Make sure that we can get this last presentation, and then we'll call it an evening. Thank you to all the. Oh, by the way, let me. All the presenters, what we can do while we're trying to get this last presentation, all the presenters do receive a TED Talk shirt. So could those presenters, people who presented, will come on up here, please. Let's do that.
You know how to pull off good presentations.
I think it's getting better and better because you guys get a lot of chance to try.
So some people are also learning the skills earlier.
A 6th grader like that, that little one to just get up and do that. But look at this crowd. I mean, it's like I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I can't do that now. I also like how they're really enthusiastic about it. It's not something they just, like, they weren't forced into it,
Yeah, that they're willing to look at some things, and it's really shocking to me as an adult, the kinds of the depths of the things that you guys are going to have. I mean, look at what you're thinking about genetics. But what I'm saying is, what you guys get for a world is, to me, looks a little unfair because it's in fragile state, and yet the world itself is fragile, and yet you've got this compounding of the ability to change. So how does a generation do this? You'll either really pull it off, or it'll be like, Well, yeah, and then if you fail miserably, you'll feel like we do. Yeah.
We'll leave it to our.
Because obviously we didn't pay enough attention. We saw the forest. So, hello.
And I think, I know there's a long time probably before I have kids, but I do want, when I think of the future, I do want my grandkids to like have, a good life, then they don't have to worry about this stuff. They can just keep the world as it started.
It's really, yeah, and it's scary. It's scary about the amount of things that can go wrong at this point. I mean, even having terrorism, even having like where does the young person go? Where do you go when you look at things like to look at? And then when you meet somebody and you go off through your life, and to me it's mind-boggling at this point because it's not just the environment. So the solutions, I think technology, everybody in this room is going to have to really get up and make a difference. And your music is going to make a difference. Unless you have that in everybody's heart, it's taking care of the whole human race. But how do we get a whole human race?
Ladies and gentlemen, our last two presentations before we head out. Please give these last two presenters the same courtesy that you've given to everyone else. And this is from next. Come on up.
I'll be presenting on social apocalypse. On social apocalypse. I know I'm supposed to start by saying my name, but I want to skip that part because by the time I'm done, I'm probably not going to remember it. Move on. So just what I noticed today when we just got here is that everybody sort of thank you. Okay, everybody formed their own mini groups and just started talking. So like in a room like this, we usually hear. Yeah, so in a room like this, yeah, in a room like this, you hear there's an audio. Let's just skip over it. So we're here and talking face to face, and I believe that's an important aspect. See, since technology has expanded rather tremendously, this virtues I want to say about human aspects interacting and face to face, because interacting can also constitute as going on Facebook and talking to one another or chatting. So interacting face-to-face is an important part of human society, and I believe we are losing that aspect. See, it's easy to look at technology and what it has done and see the merits of it, but it's really hard to see its disadvantages. And that's what a lot of technology advocates fail to recognize, the disadvantages. Let me give you a personal example that just happened today. I was involved in the math competition, and when I always do a math question, there's always a calculator with me. See, today, calculator wasn't allowed. So what I spent most of my time doing was like trying to figure out simple arithmetic questions. And that took most of the time. See, then I realized then that how I was over-dependent on that simple calculator. And I believe that's the issue. We don't see the disadvantage of technology unless it doesn't exist anymore. The same thing that would happen that when our phones and iPads and any technology that we use are gone. Because at that time, we feel like we can no longer entertain ourselves because we can't watch a movie or listen to a music because it's on our phone. Or we feel like we're suddenly lonely because we can't go on Facebook. So So what this shows is that we are we are at a point where we are depending too much on technology. Let me give you another example. I got this one from The Atlantic, a prestigious magazine. I hope you all know it. What the author said was that he had a 2-year-old, and his 2-year-olds have been able to play with an iPad since he was born. So at certain points, what this 2-year-old tried to do was try to operate a newspaper article like it was an iPad, like by trying to click on it. It doesn't work. And that's where we are. This has a grand effect, a bigger effect, because although it's helping us, there is a point that we're being over-dependent, that technology is promoting individualism, like individualism trying to be alone, or you can just stand out by yourself. And I believe this is wrong, because just since the beginning of humanity, since Homo erectus, and since the beginning of time, we have always lived as a group, as a community. And now there are those indicators where you don't have to go outside because you can get a job and work from your home online. You don't need to go outside to a restaurant and just order a food because you can just do it from your home. You don't need to go out and talk to people because you can just do it from your home on Facebook. So really, the question really boils down to this, I think. Is technology worth sacrificing our social life for? That is the core question. And I believe, like, if I ask this question to every individual here, I'll probably hear 1 or 2 people that says, I'm taking it to the extreme. Like, we can balance technology and our social life. And I'll probably look at you and say, you're probably right, because it has been done. You can balance your social life and technology. But the question is this: can future generation do the same? Because when there are kids who can no longer discern the difference between a newspaper article and an iPad, that puts a question mark, I believe. So as we are here today, we know that technology is really expanding at an alarming rate, and that's why we're here, right? Because technology has forced its way into our education, that it forced us all to gather here for the first time in ISSEA STEM in history in Africa. So we are a testament for the expansion of technology in a way. And there are also other indicators, because currently the most valuable company is not an oil company. It's an Apple computer. So this all shows that as technology is really expanding. And as technology expands at this rate, our dependency will also at the same time increase. So we'll be over-dependent at a point, and we'll feel like we can just exist by ourselves without a community. So I believe this is an issue that we must solve today, because otherwise, when we go from now on to the future, it will be impossible. And so I was just sitting there and thinking, it would be very interesting if we can actually solve this solution using technology. It would be very ironic, but it would be very interesting. So, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have one last one, and this last one is actually a video. The person opted, and tell me if I got the name right, Chikoy, opted just to send a pre-recorded video. And so we're going to play that, and that will be our final TED Talk for the evening. Thank everybody for being able to step up and stand up and share and spread your ideas. And there were definitely ideas worth spreading. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was interesting.
While we're waiting for this to load up, just a couple of notes. Tomorrow, you will come here tomorrow by around 10 after 7. We start off with bot ball. The very first bots get on the table at 7:30. I'll be emailing the coaches the lineup for the seating round. And then after a couple hours of bot ball, there'll be a break. After the break, we will go to the math head-to-head competitions to establish first and second place for the schools. And then after that competition, lunch. And following that, it is the bot ball head-to-head. And we end everything with an award ceremony after that. So we look forward to everyone, seeing everyone tomorrow and participating. And I'm really, really interested to see how the rest of the weekend plays out. So we'll close with this, and after this, guys, have a good night.
We live in a world filled with technological wonders, vast improvements, advances in everyday lifestyle, and futuristic movement. We keep getting new technology as life goes, only toys, feedbacks, gadgets, and gizmos. But because of that, we are missing one important aspect: the art and social interaction. When was the last time you took your eyes off the screen? Objects that distract us, like hypnotic beings. Remember when we spoke to people that wasn't through email, text, or phone? They actually live and rant, laugh, cry on it. We rely too much on tech to do our work and talk for us. If we think we can't do and make a big fuss. We text friends that are sitting next to us or in the same place. Rather than talk to them face to face. We play online games with people we never met. Instead of playing games physically, like an emotional activity. And we use tech on the chairs we don't even want to access. Missing many opportunities and chances with no second chance. We spend too much time on social media like MySpace and Facebook, which we spend with loved ones that time took. So put down your cell phones and laptops and put it away. Ask once, talk to someone, and say hey.
All right, guys. Thank you all for a fantastic and very interesting day. See everybody bright and early tomorrow morning.
All right. Thank you for your time tonight and your company. It was just absolutely such a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. Good old fashioned.
Yeah, good old fashioned.
Good job.
I didn't realize that's what that was.
Just take it.
Wait, I want to say bye. Bye. Hello.
Bye.